Hello everybody, welcome to the last episode of Tony Hawk's Project 8 for PS3 and Xbox 360. I'm doing bail goals. I hate myself, and I really wish I didn't have to do bail goals. But these are the last goals before I finish the game. I'm talking to you as if I am a god, as if I am the superior human who has completed Tony Hawk's Project 8 for my fellow children. This game is my baby. I killed this baby, but I am not going to jail for killing this baby, because it's not a real baby. I hate these bail goals. For reals, these bail goals suck, and they took me way longer than I wish they did. Knocking down all these pins probably took me an hour. The one you saw previously with the target one probably took me an hour and a half. I hate these bail goals. And in retrospect, I don't think I had to do some of the harder ones, like the target ones. But god damn do I hate these goddamn goals. These goals are so random. There's so much randomness to this. And it's never easy, because you not only have to knock down all the pins, but you need 50,000 points. So you not only need to fling yourself in the fucking air, but you also have to make sure the impact is enough to where you'll have enough money. So I kept in a lot of the fails here. Got 9 out of 10, but I actually got 10 out of 10. Congratulations, you are a god. Anytime you get any of these bail goals on sick, consider yourself a better human being than most. Because honestly, it takes too much fucking time to do these. Way too much fucking time. And if you spend that time doing that, you are a god. You are the one. Benedict, if you're listening, you're a god. Because you not only did all the bail goals and all the other ones, I skipped some of them. Truthfully, I skipped some of the bail goals, but I still got to the rank number 2. I'm a lesser god. Benedict, you are truly the Project 8 god. If you want to see someone destroy this game, check out Benedict gameplays. I think I've plugged him in like every video. If not every video. I'm going to interrupt myself because I fucking hate this goal. I hate it. I hate this one so much. If you want to talk about goals that really suck in this game, this is the number 1 goal. Completely not thinking of construction crash. That one's a broken goal, so don't think of that one. This one sucks. This one took me too much time. More than an hour and a half. It was probably the most infuriating hour and a half plus of my life. Because I kept falling off. And when you go for the middle one, sometimes when he stands up after the bail's done, he falls off to the 50. I don't know if I have one in here that shows that, but I swear to God that happened at least 500 times because it just never worked. So I started like going for that one in the corner because I had more luck getting on it. You also have to get $20,000 every time you do it. So if you land on it, great. If you don't get $20,000, not so great. It just sucks. This goal sucks so much balls. It's unbelievable. And sometimes I get to 2 out of 3. I like have both there. I'm like, okay, here's the last one. And sometimes you get that. You'd be like, okay, I'm high enough in the air where when I land, I should have enough money and I should have enough time to kind of use precision. No. Sometimes when you land from high up, you don't even get $20,000. Sometimes he just lands like he's a fucking feather. So, big old, I'm throwing my hands in the air like, what the fuck? I actually got legitimately mad playing this goal. I'm glad I recorded it in post because this would have been a 2-hour long video of me just doing this. So I digress. Peace amongst worlds. If you love these goals, you are I don't know. I still love you, but I won't agree with you. And that's okay. Look at that. Look at this. I bounced. Am I gonna land on it? He did it. Ladies and gentlemen, he did it. Congratulations. And I ranked up to number 2 right there. That was my last goal.
You gotta take it all the way to number 1, baby. Meet Tony by the Capitol steps and show him you got what it takes.
So, I kind of want to rant about how the ranking works in this. You work so hard to get ranked number 2, but then they throw you right into rank number 1 with this final goal. We're approaching the final goal of the game. I kept all of it in. I sped up all of my attempts regardless, but I did slow down the last attempt. So let's listen to what Tony has to say. I just got punched because I apparently messed with that guy.
You've come a long way since I first met you. In fact, I think you're ready for the final challenge. There's a legendary skate guru known only as Animal Chin. You must seek him out. I took this journey when I was 19 and it changed my life forever. Go. I will know when you have finished your journey.
So this is the reference to Animal Chin, a famous video by I'm gonna get it wrong if I say it. Yeah, I feel like it's the Bones Brigade, but correct me if I'm wrong. Sorry, it's definitely not Birdhouse. Let's just look it up. Let's get it right. Animal Chin. Bones Brigade. I actually got it right. I'm actually impressed. So, the final goal, as I hinted to 2 videos ago, is a get there. You have to go from the where you start, to the middle of the level, to the middle of the world, to the end of the world. So I put in all the speed, the failed attempts here because I figured I'd give this time to kind of reflect on my time playing Project 8. Kind of a review. This will be my quick review of it. This goes on for a long time. So skip to let's see if we can skip to around like 17 minutes if you don't want to watch that. So sorry if you don't want to watch it, but I'm going to give my quick review of this game since I finally beat it, as you will see very soon. I finally beat it. I finally got to rank number 1. So my overall review of this game is that it's good. I'd say it's a solid 7 out of 10. This game not only feels fluid in every way possible when it comes to Tony Hawk, it has the same Tony Hawk controls, it has the same trick sets, it has the same kind of feel as a standard THPS game in the new era of video games where things were more realistic, more HD. For its first introduction to the HD universe, this is as solid as it could get. You know, there's some glitches, there's some bad, ways of loading, bad ways of doing some things, but as an introduction, 2006, when things were pretty, absolutely brand new to the HD world, I think Neversoft did an amazing job implementing its old playstyle into the new era of video games. My favorite things about this game, truthfully, are the goals that require actual skill. I like any goals in Tony Hawk games that provide a challenge where it's a fair challenge, where the goal can be done by any user of any level, but can be perfected through time. So I'm going to bring up, oddly enough, I'm going to bring up the get there challenges. Anyone can do the get there challenges, and using the AM, Pro, and Sick kind of tier system, it allows new users to do it and have fun. Kind of think of it as their own challenge because they've never they're against the clock, and they have to go in these areas using, new routes, or they have to make their own routes, something like that. It's a good idea for the veteran players too, or the players that want to perfect the game, because you have to do it in a combo and get a certain amount of points. The points aspect of those never really made sense because they're so low. I don't really know how you could not get 35,000 points doing a get there, but nonetheless, I digress. The competition goals, I think those are not as fair to new players and old players, because the old players, they could do it, but I think the criteria or the setting for some of those competitions is just too grindy. It's too grindy for points. Whereas there's not much creativity to put into it, such as the half-pipe ones. You could argue that it kind of challenges you to take a vert aspect to some of it and not rely entirely on street, such as grinds, stalls, and stuff like that. So you have to actually utilize the vert tricks and specials like that. Sure, that's a fair point. But I think Tony Hawk gets its, great gameplay out of its creativity, and when it's not restricted to using one or the other. It's that kind of universal feel that makes Tony Hawk so great. When you think of the older Tony Hawk games, like, let's refer to one of the first goals in Tony Hawk's Underground, where you have to get a certain amount of points in a pool in New Jersey, or in a kind of the skate park area. You could go into the pool and, do a couple grab tricks, revert, grab tricks, revert, stuff like that. You could utilize the vert parts of that game, or you could venture off and use the grinds near the level. You could, grind on the quarter pipe, grind around the pool, stuff like that. There's different methods of doing things. With the half pipes in Project 8, you're pretty much limited to doing only grab tricks to get the most of your points. You could grind and lip trick all you want and do stalls, but it'll never grant you enough points to actually, get the challenge done to its entirety. You could probably get amateur and probably pro, but you'll never get sick doing that. Maybe you could, I don't really know, but I don't think it's a good, I think it'd be more of a challenge than it's worth. I do like the competitions that utilize everything, such as the one we saw on Hilltop, where it had grinds, vert, had kickers to do wall plants off of. That kind of creativity was really good, and that's what this game really, that's a really good point in this game where it did embrace creativity. I think for Tony Hawk games, it should never kind of restrict you in that way. The restriction should not be the challenge, I think the challenge should be the challenge itself. Getting the points, or, doing certain tricks, stuff like that. Moving on to the line challenges, and well, I guess that kind of transitions to the line challenges, where you would have to follow a certain line. That's the kind of creativity that it does really well, but it also restricts, you know what I mean? So it restricts the objects you have to trick on, but it doesn't limit you to only those objects. As long as you hit them in the combo, it counts, but you can use other things to get your points up. So it embraces that creativity by also restricting. So it kind of uses that restriction as a way to embrace the creativity, while normal players or new players can just do the ones that are highlighted and be done with the goal. There's, that's it. Whereas old players see that as an opportunity to, I'm going to hit these in a creative kind of combo, which is required to get sick, I would say. I think it's required in most of them to get sick, because if you just used the highlighted ones, you'd probably have to get a little really creative with them, but it would be ultimately easier if you just ventured off and did some creative lines. Moving on to the skill challenges, I think that was an excellent addition to this game to really help new players understand the grind meter and the effects that it takes on longer grinds. Because you'll see people, even on like Thug Pro or older games, or just playing it as their first time or as a normal player, not like a veteran player, you'll see them grinding or, you know, manually for a long time, just doing like the flatland tricks to get a high multiplier or what they think would be higher points. But the manual meter just, it wears down. It takes a lot of wear. And there's a great video on the study of this by Prevzy, that I don't know where it's actually. I think it's on his YouTube channel. But there's a good study on how the balance meter works and how the longer you're in the manual or in the grind, the more it affects it. I think these skill challenges really demonstrate the effects, because for some of the skill challenges, you're jumping, grinding, jumping, grinding, jumping, grinding, and you see your meter just kind of plummet sometimes, and you're like, what the hell? Why is that happening? It's because you're grinding a lot. You're grinding exclusively because you can't do manuals. You could do wall rides, but you are grinding a lot, and that's kind of the challenge. So it helps you new players, and maybe sometimes old players, kind of practice their grinding. You know, you could practice your grinding anywhere. You could grind around a pool, but it kind of adds that needed challenge, or kind of needed end result that that grants that practice kind of thing, you know. Oh, I got the sick. Oh, I got the pro. Oh, I only got the amp. You know, it's that kind of end result that helps make the practice more worthwhile. So I think it was a great idea implemented in this game, and it works really, really well. What other challenges were in this game? The stoked kind of competitions. I'm not a huge fan of those, but I can respect it. It kind of gives you the creativity of, you know, doing tricks over here and keeping in a line, stuff like that. It feels pretty restrictive, but I can see how it could get creative. It would probably get more. It's probably more along the lines of repetitive than creative, because I'm thinking of the one in Fun Park specifically, going back and forth, grinding, you know, doing the verts and stuff like that. I'm not gonna say that it was a great idea, but it was okay at most. I think this game did a great job embracing new players and embracing older players. So I think this game was really solid. It is very solid. So I would definitely recommend playing this game. That's my review. That was a really short review. Sorry if I didn't go into too much detail, but finally we're in normal speed. I don't know if this is the actual run I get it, or it's like part of... It's close to it. This feels really slow now, watching that all in fast motion, all kinds of... So I used the wall ride right here to my advantage to kind of stop the grind meter from depreciating, because you need to do a lot of grinds, you need to do a lot of manuals, so use your wall rides, you know, as much as you can. I don't think this is the one, unless I redeemed it right here doing that. If I actually made it this run, I'd be surprised. But yeah, you got to go all the way to Creep Park, and this is the really difficult part right here, is when you have to go to Fun Park. You need to go uphill to Fun Park. Now I tried to use this right here, like wall riding up here, and it worked a little bit, and I needed to go into focus mode right here. I'm watching it with you, so I'm kind of like, oh man, what do I do here? So I would recommend activating focus mode as soon as you hit Fun Park, because your balance meter is probably like killing itself. So this is a really hard challenge, and it works really well as a rank 1 challenge. And there we go. We did it. Melvin is number 1. Melvin is number 1. He's a god. Sick goals, 95%. Pro goals, 5%. No AM goals. Pro challenges done. Not a lot of gaps found. And now we get some videos. I probably can't show these, but I'll probably just mute the audio. I don't really care if this gets claimed. I don't really know if it will, but I want to thank you all for watching the series. Thank you all for sticking with me while I had some health issues in between it. I'll be back with a new Tony Hawk playthrough, not as soon as you probably hope, but I will be working hard to get that playthrough up. It'll be Proving Ground for PS2, so look forward to that. If you wanted to see the PS3 version, it'll be after that. I'm not going to be doing this simultaneously. I might take a break to do some other games, non-Tony Hawk related games, but just know that I will be working on getting Proving Ground complete for PS2. So thank you all again, just thank you all from the bottom of my heart for watching this series. It's very important to me that I finished it, and it's very important that I actually got rank 1. I'm very proud of myself for doing that. I can't recommend this game enough if you really want to try it out. I would recommend trying it on PS3, not Xbox 360. Sorry, got gas. On PS3, Xbox 360 kind of lags a little bit, but thank you all for watching this series. I'll see you for some bonus videos maybe. I'll catch you guys in the next playthrough. Later.